Hey guys, it's time to do another pick and pack. This is our first weekend after the sale, which ended last week on Tuesday. We have some crazy results that we will go through after we show you what sold this weekend. So first up, we have just our standard bread and butter one that we've sort of set and forget. It's these HD DVDs. They're sealed. These are not worth a whole lot, but they do continuously sell for us in the back end. So we managed to get for these two $18.62, but it is free postage, so we will have to send it tracked, which is slightly more annoying. Oh, next, okay. We just accepted an offer on this morning when it came through. It is these golf pants in number 26. Whoa. Bring them out to the light so I can actually see what ones. These we did get off council cleanup, so free money into $13.50 plus $9.90 post. The reason that we accepted the offer, it is depicted in the pictures, but it is a little bit, I don't want to say worse for wear, but there is some damage on the internal pockets. Outside looks exquisite, it's just the pockets that are a little bit av. So when they sent the offers through, I was like, yeah, we'll just happily take that. So, Puma pants. I'm out of breath from that. Next up, we have some manga books, which I know you guys have heard me talk about in previous ones. We went off the basis that everyone said that manga sold really well, albeit it hasn't probably done the best that it could for us. These two went on to sell for $20 and $9.90 postage. I would say with manga, it is, like, there definitely is a demographic for it, but unfortunately, I just don't know if we're hitting that demo. But, I mean, at least they're still selling very slowly. Okay, our next one is a Cyberpunk game. This one went on to sell for $30 and the buyer opted to pay for free postage. So you guys would have known from my previous video that we mentioned people can choose to opt for free postage on these singular items, which means we send them untracked with postage stamps. But I just realized looking at the thickness of this, we're probably going to have to send it tracked anyways. So whoopsie on that one, but that's still great for us. $30. We probably paid about $2.50 for this game. This next one, we're back here. This was from our reseller garage sale video. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. But basically, I went to a garage sale from a person who previously was a reseller and they've decided just to downsize their store. So they were getting rid of lots of cool stock. They knew that I was a reseller, so they were really kind to work out some really great prices for me. But we went on to sell these little ninja figurines. They're vintage. They're from 1983. They went on to sell for $21 plus $9.90 post. So this one is really cool because the person actually messaged us asking for the dimensions. You guys know I'm always happy when we manage to sell any of our Pyrex, basically. This one went on to sell, if I can get it out safely without breaking it. This one went on to sell for $18.95 plus $12.50 shipping because it's quite big and heavy. But they messaged us because they're missing the middle size in their set of 3 of this one. So really great to see that this actually fits the one that they were looking for. So I'm excited to send this one off to them. Next one is a vintage Care Bear toy. We managed to sell this one for $55.86. Free postage, but still it won't cost that much because it's quite light. So we'll put it just in a mailer bag. This one went, ooh, let's see if I can find it now. This guy. So he was free money into, as I said, $55.86. So next up, we have a classic gaming bundle stack. So these ones are PlayStation 3 games we picked up along the way, essentially. Like, we've collected them from different buys. So I have bundled them into a nice horror stack, just because I thought the theme would be nice for someone who's looking for this category of games. These went on to sell for $45 plus $12.50 postage. Normally we used to do a lot cheaper or free postage on this sort of stuff, but I've noticed just because of the AusPost increase, we've actually had to start upping the price when shipping something a bit bulkier. These ones are on the shoe rack. So these are free council cleanup street bounty, our favorite category. These went on to sell for $50 and $9.90 postage. They are some Air Jordans. They're kids' shoes, so they're quite small. Obviously, their wear has been documented on all of the photos, but still a cool one to know that it's not going to landfill. Now, our final top 2 sales are tied in terms of sale price, but one only wins out just because the shipping is higher, and you'll see why in a minute. But what came in our second most expensive spot over the weekend is this Canon PowerShot. It went on to sell for $160. I paid $5 for this one at a garage sale last month. You guys would have seen me pick this up. It was sold to us as untested, but since then I have done my due diligence and made sure that everything was working. So this one is here. And then our final one that's gone on to sell for as well $160. We took an offer on it. Originally we had it listed up for $200, but this is an item that I've just been keen to move out the door. Even though we haven't had it super long, we only got it in April last year. We paid about $50 for these. As I said, went on to sell for $160, but we've got $22 postage on it. It is this whole entire set of encyclopedias. This is what they look like. Cute little gold spine. There are 27 of them. Now onto the juicy details of how our Black Friday sale went. So, quick rundown, Matt and I decided, you know what, we have enough old stock sitting around that I think this year it's definitely worthwhile to participate in the Black Friday sales. And ideally we were really hoping to move a lot of our older stock, ideally less of the newer stuff because it hasn't been live for that long, but like obviously any sale is a good sale. But our main priority was to hopefully be able to get rid of a lot of the stock that had been listed since last year, because ideally from an eBay standpoint, in your store, you don't want things there for over a year. That's just one, taking up space, that's taking up money. Like your money is tied into that item until it sells. So we want to be able to buy more stuff, and to be able to do that, we obviously need more money. So with this sale, our goal was to get below 700 listings on our store, and also just as a bit of a taste tester to see if sales work for us. And we did go in aggressive with a 35% off store-wide minus the Wedgwood. So we went hard and thankfully it paid off. We're very happy with the results that we've gotten so far. So I thought while I pack the orders that we just picked, I may as well run with you guys some of the numbers and some of our learnings of what the sale meant for us. So firstly, in terms of numbers, we hit our goal of getting below 700 listings. We actually sold 88 items from our store, which meant we resulted in having only 600 and I think it was about 80 live listings at the time of when the sale finished, which is absolutely phenomenal for us as well, considering we did have listings going live the whole time throughout the sale. Yeah, those items weren't included. I ensured that I was only listing Wedgwood at the time. So our store still appeared to be active, but it just wasn't things that were getting included in the sale, because to be honest, imagine if I'd bought something, I knew it was worth, say like $100, and then immediately the day that it's gone live, it's already being discounted to 35% off. So part of our tactic was that anything that was going live during the sale wasn't going to be included in the sale. I think that's just a bit fair, you know, like there's no point getting rid of that stuff yet. It hasn't had a chance to sell. So yeah, in terms of numbers, we're very happy to see that as a result come through. We decided to go for the 35% as well because we wanted it to be aggressive. We were hoping that it would result in us moving stock, and so thankfully that tactic did work. We also were, we had a bit of a rule of thumb in terms of accepting offers, and when we had watches on the items. So our rule was that if someone sent us an offer on an item that was on sale, we would happily counter to what we thought was a price that was fair. Usually, if we have watches on an item, we would jump on sending them an offer straight away. But in our opinion, 35% off store wide is already absolutely a steal. So we did want to reduce the chances of loss in profit on our items. Obviously, we always knew that that was a bit of a chance that there could be a loss. And thankfully, we actually only had one item out of the 88 that sold that turned out to be a loss, because it, after the fees and shipping, we undercharged the shipping, so it cost a little bit more than we thought. And by the time that the price had been reduced, because it had already been in our store for ages, it was already a lot lower than what we'd initially put it up for. Then with the sale, it meant we lost out only like 20 cents, which is phenomenal. We thought we were going to lose out on a lot more. With our 88 items, also something that was really cool to see is our average sale price, even with 35% off, was sitting at $52.85. That's amazing in terms of, not only does it show that we have quality stock that's it's actually worth some of the money even with the sale, but it's great to see that like higher end items were also selling. So yeah, still at a discounted rate, but at least they were moving on and we're still making a fair bit of money, which ultimately at the end of the day, as I've said, was the point of the sale. We have a massive spike. I'll put these numbers up on the screen as well so you can see them as I'm talking to them. We had a massive spike, as you can see, in sales, obviously because of the sale. You can see on our graph, it's a significantly consistent high amount of sales per day, which, like, for us is fantastic. The lowest day that we had for the week and a half that it was live, our lowest sale day total was $215. So for that to be the lowest amount of sales that we made during that period, absolutely over the moon with that. Like, that is what we wanted. We definitely achieved probably more than we thought we would. So when you're looking at the graph, it is really cool to see that nice consistent sale rate. Like, yeah, obviously there are more days or some days that have higher sales than others, but it's nice to see that there are no sale days, which you can see in the past we've obviously had. Another thing to note is, obviously this influx is an accurate representation because of the sales. So when you look at these numbers, you're going to take it with a bit of grain of salt, because it's not completely reflecting like how well your business always functions, because naturally you're going to have, well, you should hope that you have a higher increase in sales within the sale period. But we managed to like improve our stores statistics that in the last 31 days, we had an increase of 89.7% in sales. So just within those last week and a half of that month, we managed to improve our overall monthly sales by 89.7%. Now, the big juicy numbers, which I'm sure you guys all want to hear, you all want to know. How much did we actually make? How much did we actually sell? So eBay, obviously as well, like we had additional sales on Marketplace, which we're not taking into account here because those items weren't technically like on sale. They weren't included in the sale. So we're not going to include any of that in our total numbers. But with eBay, the amount sold, so this will also include shipping and fees, so that's before all of that, we went on to sell $4,651.06. That for us is absolutely crazy, because now that the month is over and you look at our total monthly sales, we've had the best month that we've ever had. And that week and a half has equated to literally about half of our entire monthly sales. So the whole month ended on just over $8,000. So to have that impact and make it our best month yet since I've been doing this full time, so since June, absolutely crazy. But obviously they're not the numbers that we can consistently expect every month on month, because this sale does change those numbers. So with that said, what you have to take into consideration is obviously shipping and eBay fees. The shipping and eBay fee number that it's given us is obviously only including any shipping that we did through eBay. We also use, and I mean, this is also a bit of a hack for you guys if you don't do this already, but always cross-check the prices on what eBay gives you versus what your AusPost account gives you. We've definitely found that there has been a massive fluctuation in price, and it doesn't always make sense. Like sometimes the AusPost on eBay is cheaper than the Band 5 AusPost that we currently get. We have literally no explanation for it, but it's just the way that it seems to be working out. So for most listings, when we ship them now, I know what generally the lowest price is on each of the platforms. So if I'm not getting the lowest number, I'll definitely cross-check and run the numbers on the other one. But eBay has given us a total of $700.70 in fees and shipping, but shipping obviously we would have a bit more, so I'd probably bump that up to at least, I want to say $900 in shipping, because we definitely would have spent more with AusPost as well. So then with that said, eBay is considering our net sales to be $3,950.36 minus another $200 from that for the additional postage on AusPost that I was just mentioning. So that brings us down to $3,750. Then you've also obviously got to consider cost of goods, which this doesn't factor in. I would say probably cost of goods, we always try to keep low. In general, I would say, like even today with the encyclopedia sale, $50 on an item is generally the max that we tend to spend on like just a singular item. Most on average, we usually get on council cleanup or in bulk, like sort of deals at garage sales and stuff. So it's super, super cheap. So let's say we'll wipe off another $500 to $600 in sales, in purchase price or cost of goods. So that would bring our total net down to $3,150, which still is absolutely insane, because that's probably sales that we wouldn't have gotten if we hadn't have ran this promotion. And it's good to know that it's also all gone to homes and people who want them. So that for us is absolutely a great feeling to know that it is going to other people, especially in time for Christmas, and they might also be Christmas presents. So I'm very happy for that to go through. So with that said, all in all, we're extremely happy with how this sale has gone. I think now in terms of key learnings, there's definitely a few things that we would take away from this. I mean, obvious one, yes, everyone loves a sale. That's no surprise. But I think as well, learning to be more aggressive with our offers. So as I said, we weren't really sending offers to people while the sale was on. But now when we're looking at our items, if we've had it in store since last year, I'm even possibly going to say like maybe February, March this year, to go a bit more aggressive with the offers that I'm selling, just to increase that turnover in stock, because sometimes I think I get a bit too caught up in how can I make the most profit, which is obviously important in this line of work. But at the same time, I think you've got to look at it from just like a cash flow perspective, and what is more valuable, having the item to get or sell for $5 or $10 more, or recouping our money, making a little bit of a profit, and then being able to buy better things, because we've now learnt that some of our buys, especially from earlier on, weren't great investments. So whatever money we can get back from that, let's do it, let's move it on. Another thing as well, I think we've learned is sale periods are always going to be more fruitful. They're always going to be a lot, like obviously skew your results in terms of sales and profits and everything. But with that said, I would say that this was rather successful. So I think for us, moving forward, we definitely will participate in more sales events, probably do Black Friday again next year. Also looking at possibly doing other sales, like maybe we might even do a Boxing Day sale. I'm not sure yet. We haven't thought that far ahead, but it's definitely an option. So yes, more sale periods are probably beneficial for us. I don't think we will ever go as aggressive as 35% off again, because hopefully our stock quality should be higher, that a lesser sale incentive should still work. And I guess that'll be a theory that we could probably test next year for us when we do more sales. The other thing I think that is a big learning for us is sales involve a lot of work. I mean, we were shipping out tens of items every day. So always being on top of it and making sure that we uphold our handling and shipping time, or also even possibly increasing those lead times just to give us a bit of a buffer room, because naturally I've still got everything else that I need to do for the business. Matt also has his own business, so in conjunction with that, outside of this, trying to balance all of that was, I don't want to say a challenge, but it was definitely not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So just having that in mind, that maybe we increase those lead times in key holiday sale periods. Another thing we also probably have to consider is better promotion in the lead up to, I'm just going to use a big box, I've got so many of them. Better promotion in the lead up to these sales. So whilst I obviously mentioned it here on YouTube and I mentioned it on our TikTok account as well, I wonder if it would even be worth running like an ad campaign on eBay. Would that increase our exposure, considering, like, yes, our store is growing and we do have certain customers, like we don't have a lack of customers, but I also wonder that if maybe some sort of further promotion would have increased our sales if more people were aware that we're actually having it, because naturally they're only going to see the sale if they're looking for that item. Like, the item was obviously marked down based on like what they were searching for. Outside of that, I don't, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you know when eBay runs sales, but I don't know if that shows up elsewhere. Like, I don't know if it just sends out a notification being like, oh, this store has got 35% off. Probably not. Maybe something along those lines would also be more beneficial and helpful when running a sale. Letting more people know that it's actually running. The other thing as well, so one of the reasons that we decided to do this is I was inspired by one of the eBay seminars that I watched, and I was talking about sale periods and how early you should start them and all that sort of stuff. And a thing that they were also talking about was increasing repeat buyers. Now, for us, that's always going to be a bit more difficult because of the wide variety of stock that we have. So it's not like a bookstore or a gaming store that you're going to continuously have repeat buyers because they're constantly looking for the same thing. I feel like a lot of the time people will come to us as a one-stop shop for the item that they want. They get it, they're happy, they then move on. I think offering a sort of a coupon or loyalty rewards program could be potentially quite beneficial, just to increase some people potentially coming back. Whether or not it'll work, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people have a, like, almost like a business card or a thank you card saying like, oh, thank you for your purchase, your next one is with us is 10% off. Like, those sorts of coupons are very easy to implement. So maybe even something along those lines could work better for us in terms of getting repeat buyers back. So that's something that we're also going to be looking at getting into for next year, and including in possibly future sales. Like if you spend 35% off with us now, after the sale, here's a $10 coupon for your next purchase, or I don't know, something along those lines that could possibly work, because you want people to come back. You don't want people to only come when there's a sale. You want people to consistently come back. If you've made it this far on the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments, and if you guys also participated in your own Black Friday sale, whether that's from a buyer or a seller's perspective, I would love to hear how you guys went over the last week. But appreciate, love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.